Did you know a $5,000 cash offer could be more appealing to a seller than a $15,000 higher offer with a complicated loan? It sounds counterintuitive, but in competitive U.S. real estate, not all dollars are created equal. Many buyers focus solely on the offer price, believing the highest number automatically wins. But sellers, especially in a fast-moving market, are often looking for the surest, quickest path to closing, not just the biggest number on paper. This is where strategic, non-price incentives, like a larger earnest money deposit or a shorter inspection period, can turn the tide in your favor. We're talking about making your offer less risky and more convenient for the seller, which, surprisingly, can be worth thousands of dollars to them. But how do you structure this without exposing yourself to unnecessary risks? That's the key to winning without overpaying. Before you even think about crafting an offer, your financing must be rock solid. A pre-qualification letter is practically worthless in a bidding war. What you need is a full loan pre-approval. This means your lender has verified your income, assets, and credit, signaling to sellers that you're a serious, qualified buyer. Imagine two offers for the same $400,000 home. One with a pre-qualification, the other with a full pre-approval. The seller will almost always favor the pre-approved buyer, even if their offer is slightly lower. Why? Because it drastically reduces the chance of the deal falling apart due to financing issues. It's not just about getting the loan. It's about signaling confidence to the seller. But even with pre-approval, there's one more financing trick that can make your offer truly irresistible, especially when appraisals are a concern. Here's a common scenario. You offer $420,000 for a home listed at $400,000, but the appraisal comes in at only $405,000. If you have a conventional loan, the bank will only lend on the appraised value, leaving you to cover the $15,000 gap out of pocket, or the deal falls through. This is where an appraisal gap coverage clause becomes your secret weapon. You can offer to cover a specific amount of any appraisal gap, say up to $10,000. So, if the appraisal is $405,000, you'd bring an extra $10,000 to closing, making your effective offer $415,000, and the seller knows they'll get at least that much. This tells the seller you're committed and reduces their risk, often making your offer more attractive than a higher bid without this protection. But how much appraisal gap should you offer, and what if you don't have that cash on hand? Contingencies are clauses that protect the buyer, like the home inspection contingency or the financing contingency. While crucial for your safety, waiving some of them can make your offer incredibly strong in a bidding war. For example, waiving the appraisal contingency entirely means you'll pay your offer price regardless of the appraisal, a huge reassurance for sellers. However, this is a high-risk move that should only be considered if you have ample cash reserves. A safer, yet still effective, strategy is to shorten contingency periods. Instead of a 10-day inspection period, offer 5 days. This signals seriousness and expedites the process. Just be sure you're comfortable with the risks involved, and never waive a contingency without thoroughly understanding the potential consequences. But what about the one contingency that almost everyone considers non-negotiable? And how can you make even that work in your favor? Most buyers wouldn't dream of waiving a home inspection, and for good reason. It protects you from major unexpected repairs. However, you can make your inspection contingency more seller-friendly. Instead of a standard inspection contingency that allows you to back out for any findings, consider an informational inspection clause. This means you'll still conduct an inspection for your knowledge, but you agree not to ask the seller for repairs unless the issues are truly significant, like structural problems or major system failures. This offers the seller peace of mind, knowing you won't nitpick over minor cosmetic issues. Another approach is to offer a very short inspection window, perhaps 3 to 5 days. This demonstrates efficiency and a commitment to moving quickly. The goal is to provide a safety net for yourself while minimizing the seller's uncertainty. But what if multiple offers are identical and you need a tiebreaker? An escalation clause sounds like a great idea. I'll offer $X, but if you get a higher offer, I'll beat it by $Y up to a maximum of $Z. While it can win a bidding war, it also immediately reveals your top budget to the seller. This can put you at a disadvantage, as the seller now knows exactly how high you're willing to go, potentially using that information against you. For example, if you offer $400,000 with an escalation to $420,000, and another offer comes in at $405,000, your clause kicks in. But the seller now knows you'd pay $420,000 and might push you closer to that maximum, even if the competing offer wasn't that strong. Instead, sometimes a clean, strong offer at your best possible price, without revealing your entire hand, can be more effective. But how do you determine that best possible price without overpaying? In a competitive market, emotions can play a surprising role. A heartfelt personal letter to the seller, explaining why you love their home and what it would mean to your family, can sometimes tip the scales. Imagine two identical offers on a cherished family home. One is a dry, numbers-only contract. The other includes a letter from a young family, describing how they envision their children growing up in the backyard, similar to how the current owners raised theirs. This emotional connection can make your offer stand out, especially if the sellers have an emotional attachment to their home. It humanizes the transaction and can make your offer feel more appealing than a purely transactional one. Just be careful not to reveal too much personal financial information and focus on genuine connection. But what if the seller is purely driven by profit and emotion won't work? Often, sellers are looking for more than just a high price. They want convenience and certainty. Offering seller concessions can be a powerful, often overlooked strategy. For example, offering a flexible closing date or a leaseback option where the seller can stay in the home for a short period after closing can be incredibly attractive. This might allow the seller to coordinate their move without stress or find their next home. Let's say a seller needs to close by July 1st but then needs to rent back for 30 days while their new construction finishes. If you offer that flexibility, even if your offer price is $2,000 less than a rigid competing offer, the convenience could be worth much more to them. It reduces their stress and logistical headaches. But how do you know what concessions a seller truly values? That's where your real estate agent becomes indispensable. Your real estate agent is not just there to show you houses. They are your strategic partner in a bidding war. A skilled agent will communicate with the seller's agent to uncover what truly matters to the sellers. Do they need a quick close? A flexible move-out date? Are they worried about a low appraisal? This intelligence is gold. For example, if your agent learns the sellers are relocating for a job and need to close in 30 days, you can tailor your offer with a firm 30-day closing, making it more attractive than a 45-day closing from a higher bidder. They can also advise you on local market norms, like whether appraisal gap clauses are common or if waiving inspections is expected. Don't underestimate the power of a well-connected, proactive agent in gathering crucial insights. But what are the absolute no-go areas in a bidding war? Here's what happens if you try to lowball in a hot market. Your offer gets immediately rejected, often without even a counteroffer. In a seller's market, sellers are inundated with strong offers. Presenting an offer significantly below asking price, especially one with numerous contingencies, is not seen as an opening for negotiation. It's perceived as disrespectful of their time and the market value. For instance, in a market where homes routinely sell for 5 to 10% over asking, offering 2% under asking for a $350,000 home, so $343,000, is a quick way to lose out. You'll not only lose the house but also valuable time and emotional energy. The goal in a bidding war isn't to get a deal in the traditional sense, but to secure the home you want at a fair market price, using smart strategies to win. But how do you know what a fair market price actually is in a rapidly changing market? While an all-cash offer is undoubtedly strong, it's not always the absolute winner, especially if the financed offer is strategically crafted. Many believe cash automatically trumps everything, but it's a myth that can cost buyers. Imagine a $450,000 all-cash offer versus a $445,000 financed offer that includes a $15,000 appraisal gap coverage, a flexible closing date, and an informational inspection. The financed offer, despite being $5,000 less, provides similar certainty to the seller regarding the final price and significantly reduces their hassle. The seller might prefer the slightly lower, but equally secure and more convenient, financed offer. It's about combining multiple attractive elements, not just one. Cash is king, yes, but a well-structured financed offer can be a powerful contender. So, what's the ultimate strategy for combining these elements? The winning strategy in a bidding war isn't about one magic trick. It's about combining several of these elements into a compelling package. Start with a solid pre-approval. Determine your maximum comfortable offer price. Then consider adding an appraisal gap coverage clause, perhaps up to 5 to 10% of the offer. Make your inspection contingency informational or shorten its timeline. Write a personal letter if appropriate. And most importantly, have your agent probe for seller needs and tailor your non-price terms accordingly, like offering a flexible closing or a rent back. For a $400,000 home, this might look like $415,000 offer with $10,000 appraisal gap coverage, a 5-day informational inspection, a 30-day close, and a personal letter. This holistic approach makes your offer undeniably attractive without simply throwing more money at the problem. But what happens after your offer is accepted? And how do you protect your investment? Winning a bidding war is a huge step, and now you know how to do it strategically without draining your bank account unnecessarily. The key is understanding seller motivations beyond just the highest price and leveraging every available tool in your arsenal. If you're wondering what happens after your offer is accepted, specifically how to navigate the escrow process and avoid common closing cost surprises, watch our video titled The Hidden Closing Costs That Surprise Most Homebuyers. It dives deep into those often overlooked expenses. And if you found these strategies helpful, consider subscribing for more insights into navigating the U.S. real estate market.